Hey guys, backyard scrapping here. If you've read the description, and obviously you pretty much know this video is going to be about counterfeits. It might be a little bit long, but watch it all. I mean, it's going to be interesting. You're going to be shocked about a few things. And I also want to say something else about this. These two coins right here, an 1893S and an 1894 Philadelphia, I mean, us as average collectors, I mean, I don't have $10,000 to buy these two coins. And you know, you like to have your slots filled. I don't see anything wrong at all with having these slot fillers. But they need to be identified. They need to be marked in some way that they are copies or that they are not real, because these things are getting too good. I mean, and a lot of people are getting ripped off. So like I said, let me start by saying that I see nothing wrong with having these. I see nothing wrong with them being replicas or whatever, but they need to be identified as such. You know, somewhere on it. I don't know the legalities of it. I know that these are probably considered counterfeits by the Treasury Department because they don't say anything on them anywhere. But, you know, I'm never going to have this coin. And when I open my book, hey, everybody wants to see a full book. So, I have no problem with that. But they do need to be marked or identified. And if people are selling them that way, I mean, like I said, I don't know the exact laws on it. You know, but this stuff coming in from overseas that's like this, I mean, there's a lot of people. And it's not just these high dates, these key dates or expensive dates. I mean, it can be just regular old silver dollars. I mean, and they're due, because, I mean, if they got a nickel in it and they can sell it for, you know, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 bucks, what do they care? So, anyhow, I just wanted to start this video with that. Thanks, guys. And really, stick around and watch this. You're going to see some things that shocked me. They're going to shock you. I've been doing this a long time, and I was shocked at what I found and what I was able to get. Alright guys, hang in there. The video is going to start right now. I've got a little collection here that I think you all are going to be pretty interested in seeing. I guess, I don't know, it's 10 days, maybe a couple weeks, so I don't even remember exactly. I guess I could go back and look and see when I sent that 1893S Morgan dollar to Coinman 5000 and started that little curiosity binge everybody was on about IDing coins and everything. It started to make me really think, because he had asked me where I got it. And I explained to him that a guy I knew had bought out a collection, supposedly from another guy who needed some money, and this was supposed to be his dad's coin collection, and he had bought it out from him. Well, come to find out, it was a whole Morgan dollar collection. That's all that was in the collection. So he bought, I don't know, there was a set and, you know, rolls and extra stuff and all that. Well, anyway, come to find out that when he started really checking them out, because a lot of them, I mean, weighed right, a lot of them, you know, I mean, he did the basics like we all do. And come to find out, you know, he sent a couple in to, I guess get them slabbed or whatever, and they came back, they were counterfeit. So that is where the one I sent him came from. It actually came from that guy who had bought this collection. Almost all the key dates in that collection were counterfeits. So long story short, I got a couple of them because I wanted to actually try and use them to use them against a real dollar to see if I could find differences in them, or use them to identify fakes, you know, like quickly. you know, where you take, you know, you put a couple down side by side. Okay, you know, this one's already fake and this one's the same way. It doesn't even look real. Well, once I got them, I actually got a couple from him. I mean, I did just like he did when I sent him that one. I mean, I weighed them, I did this, I pinged them, I did everything, and it. I mean, I was just stumped. I mean, because they were so real. So then I remembered back to my gem and jewelry days and gemstones and specific gravity. Well, I know that everything has a unique specific gravity. So that was what I started doing, was checking my stuff with specific gravity, which I posted that video a little while back on how to do that. You know, it doesn't look like it's going to work, and it doesn't look scientific, but trust me, that test will identify the metal you have. Now, this collection that you see before you, I mean, like I said, I got really curious, so I got on the internet and I started doing some searching. Because I actually looked on eBay. Well, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, and eBay has a policy on copies or counterfeits or anything like that. They say that you cannot, you know, you cannot list them. They won't even let you list things that are marked copy or whatever, or so they say. But, you know, trust me, they're out there. And I found probably 5 or 6 other places that it was very, very simple to order or get any of this. And in case y'all are wondering, I keep moving over to this book. This is just one of my old folders back when I was a kid, or not even a kid, I mean still collecting. I was an Flying Eagle Indian head penny freak. I mean, I was a super freak. I loved them. That was my favorite coins to collect. In fact, I traded my very first Indian penny collection for a car. It was actually a 1964 Impala 4-speed. But in any case, that was 16 and dumb. I should have kept it. But we'll look at some of these in here. But this is, I actually paid extra for this. I paid $50 extra. Now the book naturally was my book, but this is nearly a complete set. A complete set of Indians. And I'm going to tell you now, some of them are pretty good. You know, some of them are real good. There's no doubt about it. Some of them are kind of crappy. I mean, they're obvious. You can see where they've messed up the dates, or they just kind of slung them together. But like the 64L, beautiful coin. I'm telling you, you're going to have to be really good to pick out that coin. The 73, the 76, the 67, the Flying Eagles. I mean, they're just amazing that this is actually happening. And anyway, like I said, I got curious. Well, I ended up spending about $100 just to see what I would get. And you see it before you. I've got gold, I've got silver dollars, I've got a 1916D Merc dime, I've got a 1937D three-legged buffalo, and all these over here. And I mean, look at them. I mean, even this, yeah, this camera's not getting up close, but we're going to do some close-ups. I mean, when you look at those, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with any of these, except that the fact that everything you are looking at on this desk is fake. Every bit of it. There isn't a single real coin on this desk right now, or on this area right here that I'm showing. Everything is counterfeit. The shame of this is, I can tell you where I'm not going to say any more names because I don't want to get myself in trouble or get sued or whatever, because you never know. Like I said, I found 5 or 6 different places that it's very easy to get. Almost all of it's coming out of China. I ordered this from one specific place. And you gotta put the right search words in. You know, replica coin, this or that. And I mean, and you have to keep looking if you want to find this stuff. But it is out there. This I spent, like I said, about $100 on. This came to me directly from China. It passed straight through customs. And here I have it. And there's not a single coin that is marked, or anything in all of this that is marked replica, copy, anything other than that. Now here's an old, I just wanted to show you an old gold piece, or fake gold dollar, or whatever. And even this tinny lead crappy thing that was probably made here in the States by some company, but down here right on the bottom, you can't see it here, but we'll throw it under the scope in a minute, it says copy. Even though everybody knows gold dollars were smaller than a half dime, this still, even though, because it says California, it says, you know, commemorative dollar, gold, you know, and whatever, 1840, but down here it is stamped copy. And like I said in the leader to this, I don't mind that. I mean, average collectors, we're never going to get an 1893S. You know, it's just not going to happen. I mean, unless we hit the lottery. But other than that, so sure. I like to open a book. I like to see my book full. You know, but somewhere on this, it needs to be marked that it's a copy. So anyway, I'm going to start throwing some of these under the scope, and we'll get back at you. And I'm telling you, hang in there and watch this, because you're going to freak out when you see the quality of these coins. I mean, I got the Indian head pennies. I was a penny freak, like I said, super freak with Indians, but I like my Lincolns. I've got a full #1, you know, I mean, in the Lincoln book, but you got to see these under the scope. So let me go ahead and get this hooked up, and we'll get back at you.
Okay guys, we've moved over to the little coin scope, and I'm going to start with this one right here. This is obviously an 1856 Flying Eagle penny. Now this one's kind of obvious. It's the 6 on these is very distorted. I mean, if you can see that right there. You know, I don't think this one would pass pretty much with anybody. But the thing about these coins is they're not all like that. I mean, but just look at this thing. If that 6 was good, you know, I mean, that thing looks pretty darn good. But again, you know, none of us would buy this coin without, you know, knowing for sure. I mean, this coin in this condition, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, you know, nobody's going to spend that kind of money without really verifying something. But that's just an example, okay? I've got another one I want to show you that I just, on the back there, this is what I did with it. If you can see right there, I stamped it copy, which like I said earlier, I don't know the legalities of this, but I truly believe that these things need to be marked. I mean, people are getting burned on them. I know they are. I mean, that guy I told you about, he got burned on the, you know, all those half dollars. Okay, but now check this one out. Okay, here's an 1857, and I'm going to move as fast as I can with this, you guys. But you guys really hang in there with me. I got a lot of coins I want to show you, and this is Halloween month, man. This is scary. This was scary to me. You know, like I said, I loved Flying Eagle pennies and Indian head pennies, but you look at that 1857. I mean, yeah, it's got these marks in it, so maybe that is a good indicator for a counterfeit, because I'm sure they're not going to fix each of their dies as they're running these off. But again, this is only from one company, so maybe the other companies may not have these marks, and this could just have been some, you know, this could be an error coin too, you know. I mean, so the marks really don't mean anything. But look at that. The 7 is a hair off, but I only know that because I was, like I said, I was a Flying Eagle Indian head penny super freak. And you see over here, I actually marked that one copy too, because it's just too good. I mean, I don't want this to get out in the public. Say something happens to me and my collection, you know, gets sold or whatever like that. I don't want somebody getting a hold of this coin, because even this, yeah, this is not an 1856, but in this condition, this coin would probably go for anywhere from $150 to $300 if it was real. And again, the sides, I mean, they're thick. They're like they're supposed to be. Now, the only difference is these are solid copper. So specific gravity would identify that as solid copper. So that's your only salvation pretty much with that coin. Now I've got a bunch of these 57s. Let me show you a 58. I'm not I'm just grabbing them as I can pick them up. But again, look at this. There's a 58. Now that's really good. I mean, the backgrounds are good. The details are perfect. You know, that's AU, an uncirculated coin. 300 bucks, couple $100. Somebody get burned for an AC. I haven't marked that one yet, but I'm gonna. And I haven't really decided if I'm just going to mark all these or if I'm going to melt them or something. I know I don't want them to get out of my hands, you know, without being marked. I bought all these things. The one I sent to Coinman 5000, the 93S, you know, he's not going to fake nobody with it. It's a hole filler. I sent it to him as a slot filler for his book because I know he's never going to get one, you know, unless he's extremely lucky. And I know he'll do the right thing with it. The whole point about this is, though, is there are people out there who aren't doing the right thing. I'm telling you, I've looked at some of these major auction sites and this other stuff, and a few of these coins, I swear I know that they are these China copies. We move on to this champ. Check this guy out. 1908 Indian. And yep, sir, there's the S. I mean, look at that. If that was up for sale, if you were at a flea market and you were looking at that, you know, guys got coins at a flea market and you're looking at that coin, this coin would fool me. It would absolutely, easily fool me. And I wouldn't know that I had a fake until I got it home and checked the specific gravity on it. And come to find out it would be, you know, complete or solid copper. That's the only way, because these are all supposed to be made of bronze. So that's the only thing that's keeping these. I mean, the only way to ID it. The color's right, the size is right. I mean, the weight is going to be so close. Let's get another one here. And like I said, I'll go through these as fast as I can. Look at this one. Now, what is that? 4 diamonds, full Liberty, slight bit of wear. What is that? A couple thousand for an 09S? 1,000 anyway, 1,500. I mean, this is just, it's disgusting to me. I'm starting with the Flying Eagles and Indians because I love these coins. I mean, these were my pride and joy. And now to see, you know, it's not just the silver dollars, guys. It's not just, you know, silver rounds and gold bars. I mean, they evidently are building little mini mints and striking this stuff. These are not cast coins. Let me show you something real quick. Now, I've had this thing for years. This is a Walking Liberty half. Now, this is what you call a cast coin. This is a cast counterfeit. Notice they made a rubber mold of it, cast it out of tin or whatever. Now, look at the fields in the background. I mean, they're goofy looking. The fields are very bad. The details on the coin are not, you know, it's not a struck coin. I mean, yeah, I mean, even rookies would spot this thing. I mean, if you've got some Walking Liberty half dollars, I mean, and you put this next to it, this is not going to compare. I mean, there's no comparison when you look at this coin. I mean, back in the day, this was the worst thing I had to worry about with something like this, and they are relatively easy to spot. But when you throw this little thing up there again, I mean, look at that. Put that over there. Look at this. Yeah, boy, I got me some good stuff here. Look at these. I mean, not even at a glance do they look good. They look good under the scope. All right, let's move on to this guy. Look at this. Look at this little feller. That's what I mean. They're doing everything. 1909S. And look at that. I mean, that thing looks absolutely real. Everything's right. And look what it is. Is it the one? Oh, yep, it sure is. Look at that. 1909 SVDB AU. I mean, the color's right. The thickness is right. This is... Look at this thing. Let's grab another one. Like I said, I'm going to move through this as fast as I can. See what this one is. I'm not even sure. It's just the 09S, I believe. Yeah, that's just an 09S. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on the shoulder. Let's see if they did their homework. In fact, let me get that SVDB back here. I want to see if they actually did their homework. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure it's the VDB. Yep. And look at the way. One more thing I want to show you real quick before I do this. Look at the VDB. It's even shifted, like it's supposed to be. It's not dead center. A lot of VDB counterfeits that I've seen, the VDB was right between the two wheat ears, right in the middle of it. But on the real one, it's actually shifted. And look at that. This is shifted right where it's supposed to be. I mean, I want to check the shoulder of this guy. I can put it on here and try and zoom it in a little bit. We're going to get on the shoulder right here and make sure there's no VDB right there. Because that's another way to tell before 1914, a lot of the counterfeits, they still had that VDB. So let's zoom this in a little bit. Let me see. I don't know if I can see anything there. There's a mark there. I don't know if it's a VDB. It looks like it is, but it's in the wrong place. It actually should be down here a little bit more. But there's something there. I can't quite make it out. I'm going to have to put it under a stronger microscope. But that's another good way to tell on these, on the, you know, the old-timey counterfeits. But I don't know that they would miss that. That might just be a little, you know, mark on there that I can't tell, because, you know, if they're going to put the money into making these dies and literally striking these coins like they're real coins, I would think, especially on something like that, that they would pay more attention. So that was probably just a mark. But anyway, there's a 1909S and a 1909S VDB. Let's see what else we got going on here. And I had to buy several of these. You know, you got to buy 3 or 4. I mean, they're not just selling you one, but they still only end up being $1 a piece or something like that. Oh, here's another thing I want to show you real quick. Check this guy out. That's just a plain old 1909. Now, it is a 1909 VDB. VDB's in the right place. Everything looks good. This looks like it would be a good 8. So it's still, you know, I mean, a $20 coin, if it was real. But see, they're making everything. They're striking everything. Doesn't matter. They don't have to be. You know, I mean, the silver dollars, common dates, they're making those. They're not just making the key dates. They're actually making everything. Here we go, guys. Check this one out. 14D. Now that looks a little off, but some of the 14Ds are actually shifted like that. The D is not actually perfect under there. On some of the dies, they were like that. But you don't have the gap where somebody would use a 44D. You know, you don't have the gap between the 9 and the 1 that there would be if it was a 44D that was altered. And let's check this one out and see if there's a VDB on the shoulder. Let's zoom in and that. See what we can get here. No, I see some marks, but I don't see a VDB, so that one they actually for sure got right. But look at this. Look at these coins. I mean, this is crazy. You know, if you were going to buy a book and this was in the book and you popped it out and looked at it, you know, let's move on to another one. Oh, here we go. There you go. There's another one that everybody likes. Fake as the day is long. Look at these things. And we're going to have to really, we got to do something about this. This is too damn scary. Oh, here, I got a good one for you guys. You're going to like this. Check this guy out. Oh boy, we all want one of those. Look at that. Is that not crazy? Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. I know definitely if I keep them and don't melt them, I'm going to stamp copy on all of them, because, you know, throw that in your cash drawer at work and hand it out to a coin collector by accident, and he's going to have a heart attack when he sees that. $1. Cost me $1. And like I said, this stuff walked right through customs like it didn't exist. Let's move up to this guy. I only had to get one of these. Check this out, guys. And I'm telling you, I swear I saw one of these on an auction house that had the same marks as this one did. And it was listed for over $1,000, but it had these same characteristics that this has. But check out what it is. Three-legger. And this one I haven't even figured out. I haven't even tried to see what it's made of yet. But I'm telling you, that one that I saw online, I mean, it had this same stuff on it. So, I mean, this might be a way at least to tell some of them, but it looked like to me like it had the same die flaws on it. Which we know this is a counterfeit, so there's no way the original would have these flaws. Well, I guess it could have some of them, but depending on if they got a real one to copy it from or not, or they just scratched out the leg, like people used to try to do in the old days with the real 37D. The worst thing we had to worry about was somebody trying to just, you know, erase that leg and make it look super smooth, which was, I mean, it could be done by a good jeweler. Look at that. Another $1,000, $1,500 coin. $1. You know, I mean, this is just too damn scary to me. Here we go. Here's another champ. Check this one out. And you know what it's going to be, right? There she is. Now I can say one thing about this one. The D is, only because I know, and I've seen them, the D is a little awkward. It's a little off. But I mean, a die shift could do that. Anything could do that. Look at that thing. $3,000 right there. $2,000. I mean, this is scary stuff. You know, I mean, right now I have heard that they're actually starting to make some of these things out of coin silver. Some of the key date $half. Well, let's throw this one up now. Let's get to the dollars. This was the one that started it all. I got a couple more of them. I want to see if this one has the same thing that Coinman pointed out. 93 on that little point below the tail on the back. I want to see if this one's the same. Sure is. There it is. Look at that. Look at that right there. Now he spotted that. So we now know that that is very possibly came from the same place. Let me see if I got another one. Okay, let me get another 93S. Same thing, same little die flaw. But other than that, but that's still, like he said, that could still just be a little piece of metal. That's, I mean, it could be an error, or it could be anything. I mean, but these obviously are the same. Look at 83cc. Okay, this is an 83cc. Got a little goop on it to make it look real. In fact, the coin's actually worn. I mean, I guess they just throw these in a tumbler or whatever they do. I mean, that looks like a worn Morgan dollar. I mean, it's worn right where it's supposed to be. The high spots, I mean, it doesn't look unnatural. There's the CC. Now, on this one, look, coin is fine. It's sharp and fine. See, a 94. I don't know what that is under her eye. But But again, it could just been, you know, error or something on the thing. Now on this one I'm seeing, okay, this is, it's a 94p, so it'd be $1,000, you know, that range. But now look here, you can actually see the bronze or the brass or copper or whatever this planchet was made out of. You can actually, they didn't plate this one very well, so you can actually see that coming through the copper. But again, at a quick glance, you might just think that that's dirty. Let's get the last one we got here, an 89cc. I want to check out that on the back. With an 89, I mean, look at these things. This is scary stuff, man. What's this one? A $500 coin? I would have to look it up. And look here. It even looks worn. The detail even looks worn there, but it's nice and sharp, pointed. I don't know, guys. I don't know. We got to do something about this. This is getting bad. And when I had this stuff laid out, I just want to throw this under here. But this is one of those Credit Susie things. I'm going to show you some, when I get off of the scope here, I'm going to show you some other things. But that's really hard to see under there because it's all bright and shiny. Let's go back to the regular camera, and I want to show you a couple more things that are kind of dangerous and scary. So we'll get right back with you in just a sec.
Okay, guys, we got moved back over here to the regular camera. This is all that pile of stuff that I showed you. The dollars. I want to show you about this. I actually took this one out of the case, but here's an example right there. You know, Credit Susie, 1 ounce fine, 999 gold. Well, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't know any better. Okay, I was in the jewelry business for a long time. I had a rock, gem, and jewelry store for almost 20 years. I cast and made my own jewelry, so I was kind of familiar with buying gold to cast or recast or alloy to make my jewelry. Now, because I know, and I've bought these, you know, for a while to make the jewelry, immediately I can tell that this bar it's just too big. It weighs 1 ounce exactly, 1 troy ounce, but it's too big. You know, it's too big this way. It's way too thick. You know, in the case it actually looks a lot better. It looks more real, but once you really get it out and hold it, it just doesn't have that, you know, that real feel. And another thing about it, now this is a good strong neodymium magnet, but watch. So this isn't really even that good of a fake. I mean, it's highly, highly magnetic. So, but still, I mean, what if, you know, you're out somewhere or somebody's out, oh man, I need some money, or I'm broke down and I got this, you know, could you loan me $500 or $1,000, you know, and I'll let you hold this, you know, and, you know, until I can get squared away and get the money back to you. Well, you know what? Another $1. They got $1 in it. You think they're going to come back? You give them $5 on a loan? Nope, they're not coming back. But look at this. I mean, in fact, here, let me get a stack of them. Look. I about pulled my, look, you see my little magnet over here? Look at this little magnet with these. That's powerful magnets. Can you see this? See that little magnet standing up? Look at how far away I am from, oh, and there it goes. Look, nothing. So you know there's a lot of power right there in those magnets just to be standing this one up over here. Anyhow, like I said, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but I really wanted you guys to see all this stuff. Also, it wasn't, I mean, this is just the stuff I bought. I decided I was only going to spend about $100 on this stuff because it's really worthless. I mean, if you come right down to it, other than fixing them up for, you know, like a filler or something, but then they have to be stamped. They've got to be marked. I showed you this, you know, the whole set just about. I want to show you one more real quick thing. I'll get it out and I want to show you under the scope, but I'll do that in just a few minutes. I want to pop this 77 out and show you something, because this is an easy one to identify if you know what you're looking for, no matter how good it's struck. If it's done wrong, I'm going to show you that. But I wanted to show you one more thing. I told you everything on here was fake. Now this is actually real stuff, Okay, we know that that's our buffalo, and a copper round. Now I want to show you something. Let me get my little magnet back off my ring guy. I see tons and tons and tons of videos out there where they're showing you how to check your silver. Let me see if I've got against a fake. Okay, I'm gonna use this for an example because this is nothing. But anyway, or this doesn't matter. This will probably show better. Well, I guess I'm not going to use that. It's actually metallic. Okay, if you have a fake metal, you see that? A fake silver. Now this isn't magnetic, but look at how fast that magnet goes. I'm probably right in front of it. Let me do it like that so you guys can see. Look how fast that magnet shoots off of that. Now even though silver isn't magnetic, it does have a resistance to powerful magnets. So I see all these videos out here where they're testing their silver like this. Now that's how it should be on silver. Okay, great, that's a wonderful test. You carry a little pocket magnet around with you and you go in somewhere and you're at a flea market and they're going to sell you some silver rounds and you put that on there and look at that. Boy, isn't that sweet, how nice and slow that falls. Well, gosh, that's a great piece of silver. Now this is silver. But let me show you something. This is what they neglect to tell you in all those videos, or they haven't tried themselves. This is a copper round. I want to now watch this. You see any difference? You ready? Now granted, it's in a case and it's getting pulled a little bit by these staples, but look at this. You see any difference in that? Look. So what does that tell? What does that tell you? You know what it tells you? It tells you that if I silver plated this, and this was my way of IDing my silver, that I am absolutely really in trouble, ain't I? Because if this is my way of IDing my silver, it does the same thing. Copper. So they got a copper round, they buy it for $1, they silver plate it, and they sell it for a silver round for 15, 20, 30 bucks. Guys, what I'm trying to tell you in this video is you've got to learn more advanced ways of testing. You've got to start putting that specific gravity test into use. You've got to use all these things. You've got to use every bit of knowledge that you have to make sure your stuff is real. You know, I mean, look at these laid out like that from that camera angle. I mean, that looks like a pile of real pennies. There's not a real penny there, not one. I mean, there's all this together. There's probably $30,000 or $40,000 worth of coins right there, and they're worthless. They're not worth anything. I don't know if you guys heard it, but there was a little story some time ago about a guy, an old man that, you know, spent his entire life buying gold. You know, the PAMP cards and the other things that come in the little cards, you know, 1 ounce gold bars. And he was buying from one dealer his entire life. And come to find out, you know, when he retired, he was, you know, going to cash in all his gold and take a big vacation and whatever else he was going to do. Well, come to find out, they start breaking them out of them little cards to check them. And every single bar that he had bought over his entire life was fake. Every single one of them. So he had his entire life savings sitting in front of him that was just a handful of metal and copper that was basically absolutely worthless, like this thing. So like I said, one more thing you need to be concerned about with the bars. I said it before about tungsten, but that's how they're faking bars. In fact, they're not actually, I don't know of any that they're actually making the bar out of tungsten and plating it, but the gold specific gravity is about 19.32. Tungsten is about 19.25. So they're the only things on the table that are really, really close. So evidently what they're doing is they're boring out real bars and they're putting tungsten inside of them. So the combination of the two metals is going to give you a little bit higher specific gravity than the tungsten is, because there's actually gold there. But that's, I mean, gold bars, you know, we're going to take a little more care when we're buying stuff like that. But I mean, just an example at a flea market. Okay, I'm at a flea market, they got silver rounds, spot price is 15, 16 bucks, and needs money, and he's selling them for, oh, he'll let you have them all for $14.50 if you buy them all, and you do your little magnet test, and it's good, and you buy them, and you get home, and then do that specific gravity test and find out this is all you got. You got copper. You got copper that's been plated with silver. So that magnet test, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely worthless. You're wasting your time carrying a magnet around with you. You know, I know you can't carry a scale and a bucket of water and all that, but, you know, get a driver's license from the guy. Get some kind of ID. Go home and test your stuff, and it's fake. You know, turn his butt in. But anyway, I wanted to show you this 1877 back under the scope one more time. I just want to show you a quick way to ID these. I haven't seen any that are right, but I'm sure they're going to make them right. So let me get back to that and show you that, and then I'm going to, you know, end this video. Hang on, I'll be right back at you.
Okay, guys, we're back on the scope, and I just really quick wanted to show you something about a lot of the fake 1877s that I've seen. Okay, if you will look at this last feather right there, you see how that is pointing between the C and the A? The 1877 should actually be up here. It should be like, what is it, the 86 type 1? So this is actually, they made this die, or however they did this, out of a coin, or copied a coin that was actually made after, I believe, 1886 or 1881. The Indian head freak that I am, and I can't remember which ones they are. But anyway, you can see how that's right there, right between it, and it actually should be pointing here. So that is a very, very quick way to tell on an 1877. But I don't know that there aren't some out there that aren't made that way. And I mean, again, look at the detail on these coins. Look at how well they have done this. Alright guys, I hope I scared you for Halloween. I'm going to go back to the regular camera and close this video out. So we'll be right back at you in just a sec.
Okay guys, we're going to sum up. I wanted to toss that 1877 in and show you, because that's actually usually a pretty easy way to spot one. Listen to that. Sounds pretty good, don't it? Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I know it was long, but I really wanted you guys to see this stuff. Help me get this video out there, you know, share it, put it on your channel. I don't care, but I mean, you know, this is ridiculous. You know, I loved collecting coins when I was a kid. I've, you know, kind of gotten away from it a little now. I'm more into the silver and the metals and stuff like that. But, and in no way am I trying to, you know, sway somebody away from collecting coins, or dissuading, you know, so you don't want to collect coins or get your kids started in it. I mean, it's a great hobby. It's wonderful. But, I mean, something's got to be done about this stuff. You know, this is, it's everything. It's not just these pennies. It's not just this. They had half dollars. They had quarters. I just wasn't going to spend any more money. I mean, they had sets of Walking Liberty half dollars, complete sets. They had complete sets of Morgan dollars and Peace dollars, anything you wanted. And I mean, you know, yeah, the pictures are so-so, they're not that great, but I mean, once I got this stuff in and really looked at it, I mean, it's scary. It's really scary. You know, I pulled that 55 double die out of here and looked at it, and it blew me away, because the picture was nothing like that. This looks like a 55 double die in here. I mean, and there's, you know, I know there's people out there getting burned. I know there's people out there buying this stuff from different places they shouldn't be, you know, and thinking they're, you know, they see a dollar up for auction for 15 or 18 bucks, it should be 25, and they buy it. You know what? It may very well be one of these. And don't think that the auction house rules are going to save you, because they're not. You know, I mean, yeah, if you maybe complain, you may get your money back and all that, but how many of them does it take? You know? I mean, they make all these rules that this stuff can't be put up there, and it's up there anyway. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. It's been a super long video, I know. I hope you learned something from it. I mean, do what you can to test your coins. Do what you can to make sure that the stuff you're actually going to buy is real. You know, I hope that magnet thing showed you. You know, I've heard many, many, many people say, you know, carry that little magnet around to check your silver. It does the same thing on copper. So if you're buying silver-plated copper, buddy, that magnet ain't going to tell you nothing. All right, guys. I hope I scared you because I got scared. Happy Halloween, which it's not Halloween yet, but anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video. Definitely get it out there so other people can see it. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you again soon.